Hey guys, it's Scott from fxmissions.com. Just a note, I've finished the trilogy of anthologies from the forefront, and all 3 books are currently available on Amazon.
Welcome to Foundational Missions Leadership Moment. Join your host, Scott McClelland of FX Missions, as he deep dives into the lives of leaders to glean secrets that will propel today's leaders to new heights. Here's Scott.
Hey guys, Scott here for FX Missions Podcasting. Hope you're doing well. Hey, just want to give a little bit of a heads up here, a slightly different episode type. I published some time ago an article on the blog talking about the ice cream machine is broken at McDonald's. At the time, I really didn't know this is kind of a cultural curiosity that folks have. Later found out there were videos and all kinds of stuff, a documentary about why this is, and you can even go on the web and see where all these ice cream machines are broken in the U.S. Fascinating. For my part, it seemed like something more under the surface. So I unpacked that a little bit in a blog article, and then someone suggested that we do a podcast on it, talking about leadership and those kinds of things. So I enticed Brian Ensminger, who's a part of our podcast, to join me in that effort. And what follows is our podcast regarding why, not why the ice cream machine is broken at your neighborhood McDonald's, but what does it mean in a bigger sense? Please do share this with folks you think will be entertained by it, because it's really something different. And we thank you and appreciate you for being a part of FX Missions Podcasting. Hi, Scott McClelland here with your FX Missions Leadership Moment. Glad to be with you today, and thanks for listening. Please do encourage others to check out the Leadership Moment, those who'd be interested in maybe sharpening their leadership skills or looking at it from a different perspective, which today is what we're about to do. We're about to look at leadership from a different perspective, and I'm happy to be joined today by someone who's co-hosting, been very familiar with the Leadership Moment over the years, Brian Ensminger of Top Tier Audio. Brian, hello.
Hey, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man. I appreciate your idea to kind of do this particular podcast, and thank you for being willing to be sucked in to the microphone duty as well. I thought we'd get maybe a better product for folks to have if you were helping me get this content out. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I agree with you. I hope this turns out great.
One way or another, it will turn out. Have you ever thought about the phrase turn? How is this going to turn out? You
know, I haven't thought deeply about it. I'm wondering if it maybe has something to do with pottery.
I think it might have something to do with sewing. It's like when you're sewing something, you are looking at the back of it all the time. And then when you turn it out, how does it look? We'll have to wait and see how this is going to look when it turns out to see if the seams will be straight or not. But I'm hopeful we'll have something enjoyable for folks and encouraging, edifying as well. Can you tell me a little bit about, you said, hey, this would be a great piece to cover on the Leadership Moment. Can you tell me a little bit about what came to mind as you were thinking about that?
Yeah. So I saw the article first through LinkedIn and then went and read it on the FX Missions website. I guess I should say this is an article that was written about an ice cream machine in McDonald's, but it wasn't specifically about the ice cream machine at McDonald's. But my first thought when I read the article, which kind of goes through sort of your journey of driving through, I want to say it was Texas, and really looking forward to the possibility of having an ice cream experience at McDonald's and then not being so happy with the result because the ice cream machine was broken. And my first thought was, yeah, I totally get that because I've had that experience. I've gone through the drive-thru, been stuck on the inside track, can't get out. They don't have ice cream. They can't do shakes. But I've also been because I was a manager at McDonald's for a while, I've also been on the other side of that going, yeah, but my goodness, that thing does actually break all the time. And so I thought, well, this is a really good piece because it not only talks about that customer experience, because that was your experience, but it draws to, I think, a deeper place that talks about the value proposition, the expectations that you create, and then whether or not you have the stuff in place to actually deliver on your process or on your product, which is absolutely a leadership thing.
For sure. Well, I don't know if I remembered that you had some time behind the counter at McDonald's, but that really is intriguing to me. I've got to say, I might have been a little bit less willing to do this if I knew I was going to be like, you've got some authority here in the subject when it comes to the ice cream machine. And, I didn't realize, but there's some kind of a small tide of angst about these ice cream machines at McDonald's always being broken. So after I published this, I got a fair amount of feedback. And one guy said, "You must have seen this video." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Wait, here's the link. There's an entire, what would you call it? A documentary."
Oh, really?
Yeah. And some guy wrote some code. He kind of hacked the McDonald's ice cream machines to show you on a map of the U.S. with red dots as to a percentage of how many of the ice cream machines are broken. I had no idea. I thought it was just me. It's not.
No, it's not just you. And yeah, it's a thing for sure.
Wow. Anyway, I'm not sure. Maybe we'll backlink to the video here, maybe not. But it was interesting, very well produced, and I thought well researched, the documentary, which I happened to watch maybe within 2 to 4 weeks after I wrote the article. I got to say, though, for me personally, some of my earliest memories in life are about ice cream. I know that maybe brings this a little closer to perspective. Like, what was I thinking about? When I was when I was between 2 and 3 years of age, we lived across the street from a hospital. And I would occasionally, I'm going to say once a month or once every several weeks, my older brother, I was between 2 and 3, he was between 5 and 6. He would take me across the street to the cafe at the hospital, small town hospital, self-contained. We went to the cafe. What did we get? We got some soft serve there. And I was the hit of the little cafe because the older ladies who were working there were so happy to see a toddler come across the street to enjoy some ice cream. My love of ice cream runs deep, Brian. I've got to say that. And I didn't mention that in the article, which, of course, will backlink to this content in case folks want to read it. But I'm that little boy again when I'm sitting there in the McDonald's drive-thru thinking, we're about to enjoy some soft serve. Wah, wah, wah. I guess not, but it's not the one time this has happened to me. It's happened to me many, many times. And because of that, I felt there might be something broader to say about it. Anything that struck you in the article that you wanted to mention? Again, I feel like I didn't realize that you were this previous manager. The documentary would come. I'm glad I watched the documentary now because it puts me in a better position. It has something to do with how this thing's got to heat up in order to kill bacteria and other things like that. And the heat cycle sometimes fails. And there's a lot going on there from this phenomenon, which is the broken ice cream machine at McDonald's.
Yeah, I guess the thing that I would just kind of bring up is, in a lot of ways, it's indicative of just about anything else in life, right? There's a